Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose. And if you get this notification early in the morning, you might notice that this is not my typical time slot. I've been dealing with a sick baby these past few days. My son has had an ear infection. It's just been awful. That poor little guy. But thankfully, he seems to be doing a lot better now. And right away, I just want to thank everybody who posted on my community note when I announced that this video is going to be delayed. You guys are just absolutely awesome. Thank you all so much for your support. I could not appreciate you all any more than I do. Just absolutely awesome. Anyways, though, we do have some gaming news to talk about today, and actually some very exciting stuff at that. Because Nintendo, they just posted their financial report, and as a part of what they said, they gave some legitimate, yes, legitimate Switch 2 news. This isn't a test. This isn't a drill. It's not a rumor. This is 100% official. This comes directly from Nintendo's president. So we're going to get into all of that today, as well as the Switch successor reveal timeline. Now, we also have some Xbox PlayStation news, as it appears another Xbox port might possibly be on the horizon for the PlayStation 5. Let's just go and jump right into things, though, starting off with one of the most popular games for this generation being Hogwarts Legacy. It really should come as no surprise that, yeah, Warner Brothers is salivating over the idea to make more of these games. I mean, if you have a 20+ million seller on your hands, then yeah, a sequel seems like a pretty good idea. And you can see here posted up by good old Jeffy Jeff. He said a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy is now in production and is a very big priority. Gamers plan to coordinate storylines with the upcoming Harry Potter HBO series, according to Warner Brothers Games president David Haddad. Source: Variety. So what stands out to me about this is that it has some kind of crossover with the upcoming HBO series, and I'm very curious to understand exactly what that means. Now, as far as I'm aware, the HBO series will attempt to remake the iconic Harry Potter books. In other words, it's also going to remake the Harry Potter movies. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the next Hogwarts Legacy could tie directly into the main series. The fact that they're coordinating together, that does make it sound like whatever happens in the sequel will directly impact the main Harry Potter series. My only thing with this, though, is that it's probably going to be a long time before we get any kind of real confirmation. You know, even though it's now a top priority for them, just kind of knowing how long modern AAA game development takes anymore, we're probably still years and years away before an official release. In the meantime, though, I do like the Harry Potter series, so I'm actually really excited to see what they do next. I thought Hogwarts Legacy was a solid first attempt, but I'm really hoping they've learned some lessons along the road, and I'm hoping to see some big improvements for its sequel. Now, another franchise that I'm a big fan of is Mass Effect. I mean, I legitimately believe that it is one of the best trilogies ever made, and really just one of the best sci-fi dramas of all time. I'd rank it right up there among the best of the best, despite, you know, its controversial and, I guess, colorful ending. If you know, you know. But now that Bioware is finished up with Dragon Age: The Veilguard, they've reportedly shifted their full undivided attention to the next Mass Effect game. So all hands are on deck now, which, I mean, that's great news if you're a Mass Effect fan like me, but at the same time, you know, it also means that Bioware currently has no plans for Dragon Age: Veilguard DLC. And I mean, I understand that there is controversy among Bioware and Dragon Age fans, but for those that are legitimately enjoying it, which, I mean, I hope you are. But yeah, it seems like the base game is pretty much it for now, which personally, I think is perfectly fine. In my opinion, I really just want developers to deliver a good base game. And after that, if you want to come out with DLC, that's really just a bonus for me. That's just my opinion. But as for Mass Effect, they did note not to expect a lot from N7 Day this year because their main focus was to launch Dragon Age: The Veilguard instead. Now, here's something kind of crazy to think about. Halo 2's 20th anniversary is on November 15th. I mean, that is just wild to think about for me. Halo was just such a big part of my childhood and teenage years, and I mean, I just have so many memories wrapped up into the original Halo trilogy, as a lot of you all probably do. And for a lot of Halo fans out there, one of the most memorable moments for this franchise is the iconic 2003 Halo 2 E3 demo. I mean, this was a demo that had people going crazy over what the Xbox was capable of and just how good Halo looked, not only visually, but also just how good it looked from a gameplay standpoint. However, despite its iconic status, this demo actually never shipped with the final product, or at least until now. For Halo's 20th anniversary, they announced the beloved demo finally will be playable through the Master Chief Collection on Steam. Here you can see where they said the response to the demo at E3 was electric, and nearly every Halo fan remembers that demo and where they were when they were first blinded by its majesty. Best of all, none of us ever would have expected that 20 plus years later, a group of passionate community modders would bring this demo to life as a full-fledged mission. So I think this is a pretty cool surprise. I know a lot of people have fond memories of its E3 demo, and I don't think most of us ever actually expected to be able to play it. So once again, the modding community came in and made dreams a reality. You just gotta love it. Okay, so let's go and talk about Nintendo. And, there's quite a bit to go over here. So what I'm going to do here is we'll first start off with the more tepid part of the news. Not that it's bad per se, but I know there's been a lot of wishful thinking, and then we'll kind of move into the more exciting stuff. Nintendo, though, they reconfirmed that they 100% still have plans to reveal their next console before April of 2025. Now, keep in mind, they didn't say 2024. This is April of 2025. So it's going to happen within the next 5 months, and that alone is really exciting to think about. I cannot wait to see this thing. But I think by this point in the calendar year, the dream that it's going to get its reveal in 2024 is basically dead. Now, I mean, technically, yes, they could still reveal it. They could have a surprise announcement at any moment, and obviously we have the Game Awards next month. That could be a date to pay attention to. But as I've said 100 times on the channel, I just don't see a reason why they need to reveal the Switch successor in 2024. Yeah, that would be awesome for us fans that's been waiting for this device. But from a business standpoint, I just don't see a reason why they need to reveal it in 2024. They still have high expectations for their current hardware this holiday. They still have new games to sell like Mario Party Jamboree and the upcoming Mario & Luigi Brothership. And that right now is their main focus, as it should be from a business perspective. They're not ready to take the spotlight from that lineup and from their current hardware during the most important part of their year. And I get it. I get why people keep buying into a 2020 reveal. Part of that is because we just want it to happen, and I am with you all 100% on that. But it's also because these supposed insiders, every single month, they come out and they peddle these rumors that it's going to happen this month. We heard that it was going to be in the month of August, and then it didn't happen. Then we heard the month of September, and again, it didn't happen. And obviously, those October rumors were wrong as well. I mean, let's just kind of be honest about things. These supposed insiders are simply guessing, and that's all there is to it. They'll eventually get it right, and they'll claim that they're this big-time leaker, but I mean, come on. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. I'm just going to kind of leave it at that, but either way, an early 2025 reveal seems pretty likely by this point, unless we have an unexpected surprise inbound. However, here's the super exciting news that everybody's been waiting for. Nintendo, 100% confirmed, the Switch successor will indeed have backwards compatibility. This was posted up by Nintendo's president, and he said, "This is Furukawa. At today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor to Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch Online will be available on the successor to Nintendo Switch as well," which of course it is. Further information about the successor to Nintendo Switch, including its compatibility with Nintendo Switch, will be announced at a later date. So, there you go. I know there were some people out there that was a little concerned about backwards compatibility, but if you've been watching this channel, you know that I've been fairly confident about this all along. It's just, when I look at Nintendo's handhelds specifically, they typically do have backwards compatibility for at least one generation. The Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance, the DS to the 3DS, and now the Switch 1 to the Switch 2. I mean, the thing about Nintendo is that their games have incredible legs. They just continue to sell year in and year out, and it doesn't matter how old they are. I mean, games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, they are still selling to this day. Look at something like Mario Kart 8. Game sold 60 plus million copies. So they have every reason to make backwards compatibility a priority because, well, now they can sell, I guess, another 40 million Mario Kart 8 Deluxe copies. I think this also kind of explains, though, why Nintendo is hammering down on Switch emulators. It's because they want to sell those Switch games for their Switch successor. The thing that I want to know, though, is whether or not this backwards compatibility will have any kind of enhancements. That's something that Xbox has done a really good job with, and I'm hoping that Nintendo can do something like that for the Switch successor as well. You know, there are rumors that the Switch successor will have NVIDIA DLSS, and if they can somehow enhance certain games with AI upscaling, that would be pretty amazing. You know, there's a lot of games that they have in their current catalog that could benefit from something like that, including Zelda, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and even the Xenoblade series. I'll also say, though, that this is a pretty good sign for any game that has performance problems. Games like Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the frame rate for those games are pretty bad if we're being honest about things, and the Switch successor could very well brute force their way to more stable frame rates. So yeah, I mean, I think this is incredibly exciting news. I personally think the Switch has one of the best libraries of all time, and I guess now they're going to have a chance to live likely to the 2030s on the Switch successor. Okay, now one last thing before we go, though. We just got wind that another Xbox-owned franchise could possibly be moving over to PlayStation. And I'd say out of all of their franchises, I do think this one makes a lot of sense, and I'll come back to that here in just a moment. But this is for Age of Empires 2. This was posted up on Reddit, and you can see here that some PlayStation logos were spotted on different teams, and that makes it seem like maybe they're testing things out behind the scenes. I mean, keep in mind that nothing is confirmed just yet, but this one has been in a rumor mill for quite a while. Tom Warren earlier this year mentioned that Microsoft has been considering an Age of Empires launch for rival consoles in early 2025. Now, Tom Warren has been fairly accurate in the past, and again, I do think this one makes some sense. Like, technically, yes, Age of Empires is an Xbox-owned franchise, but it's never really been viewed as an Xbox-centric game. This is more of a Microsoft game, if that makes sense. This is by all means a PC franchise. That's where it's popular, and that's where most of its fan base plays it. Age of Empires has only recently made the transition over to Xbox consoles, and given that it's an RTS, a genre that's not typically as popular on consoles, I think it's a fair game to push on PlayStation and just kind of see how it can grow over there as well. Now, that's just my own opinion. Maybe you disagree, and if you do, let me hear it in the comments below. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed it, but until next time, subscribe and peace out.